Hey folks, this is BestInSlot and welcome to sunny Isla Nublar. Now last week, the pretty cool Park Managers collection pack came out for Jurassic World Evolution 2, and I've been thinking and racking my brain a little bit as to what park build would suit the pack and how could we do justice to some of the new creatures. And also something that I want to do and something that's going to be fun and a little bit different. And I had a bit of a thought, inspired by the Megalodon. We're going to do a movie-inspired park, taking famous films, famous scenes, translating them into Jurassic World Evolution 2 with appropriate dinosaurs or indeed actual real-life replacements where possible. So for today, for example, we're going to build a Jaws-themed exhibit, and of course we're going to honour the Megalodon by doing so. I've got another exhibit idea for another Megalodon for the Meg, but other than that I'm very open to suggestions, so feel free to let me down below in the comments what films, TV shows, etc, even other video games you would like to see represented here in Evolution 2 and what dinosaurs you think would be appropriate for them. Anyways, let's get started. Now, we can't really get started without a park entrance, so let's just... Right, well that's better. So the plan is to do a Universal Studios type tour, so the entire thing is going to be via a tour ride, and that's great for me and how I want to build parks, because it means I don't have to worry about guests and pathwork and all the things I hate. We can just focus on fun, original exhibit designs. Original stealing from other media. So we've got ourselves just a little walkway, little Universal Disney walk path shebang. Those are official words, and you hop onto your Jurassic tour, and then you're going to head off into the park. Okay, I've decided to swap over to the Jurassic Park tour just because the truck tour for some reason doesn't have a concrete tour, only the Jurassic one does. I'm not sure why that's the case. I never knew that was the case until today, but you know, we've learned new information now, and I want it to be concrete because I want it to feel, you know, proper, like it's been actually made, like it's designed by a human, all that good stuff. There we go. That's much more what I was looking for stylistically. For some reason I can't delete this building, so I've kind of just shoved it off to the side. It looks a little bit funky, but you'll never see it. I think that's okay. So anyways, hop on your Jurassic Park tour, and then away you go. And you're going around and going rah, 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 you know, as things I want to do. I'm just going to throw some lights along the track as well. It's not like my usual builds where I want you to feel scared. This is meant to feel controlled and, you know, like an official part of the park. We'll get to the death and destruction eventually. Maybe the tour goes off the rails and your tour car goes into some terrifying directions that it wasn't originally meant to go in. I didn't think about that until just now, but now that I've said that out loud, I'm pretty tempted to go in that direction eventually. I just can't help myself. I really can't. Throwing in a couple of these big old wall pieces. Just apologies if you hear that outside. People are mowing their lawn. How dare they? I know, but it's also quite warm today. So I can't really shut the window, or I refuse to shut the window, I guess would be the more accurate way to state that. Just going to block some of this off a little bit. I kind of like the idea of having this gigantic wall here. It's kind of, again, just trying to make it feel more like it's part of an actual official park rather than just going through forest, just going through nature. I kind of want you to feel more like you are, well, in an official park. I can't really say those words in too many different variants. I think I've said them enough ways by now. You know, tropical, really, we need more tropical trees. The more I try to do this, we need more trees like this. We've only got one tree in tropical that's like this. And I could do like 7 more, frankly. The one is not nearly enough. I could do 7. 7 would be an acceptable number. So I want you to see the concrete, but I don't want it necessarily to be like the most prominent thing. It's just there. And I do want this to feel fairly contained, not like claustrophobic, not spooky contained, but a little bit like it's the start of the tour, you know. I feel like you tend to be quite hemmed in at the start of things like this, and then it opens up in a little bit. I'm thinking about when you go on like a Disney ride or something, and you're in that little box room, and it plays a video introducing everything. You know, that's the kind of idea. So we're just gonna get some lovely decoration on the floor. Okay, cool. Right, so let's say that's done, and your little thing carries on a little bit further. You're now entering our first exhibit. Blarg Blarg. Blarg Blarg's not the name of the first exhibit. Just roll with me here. Where's my concrete? I want concrete. I want it to be lit, son. I want it to be lit. I'd love like a thick concrete, you know? Anyways, so this is just going to go basically straight forward. And the idea is, I think you're just going to go... Let me think about this. How are you going to see the Megalodon? I guess is the problem. So I want to go past the beach, right? I think that's the logical way to start, is to go past... Have a beach sort of spreading out here. And you go past the beach. And then maybe you have to go past the water. Or maybe we have like a little stop where you can hop off and view the Megalodon. Something like that. We'll have a little think about that. Or I'll have a little think about that. You can think about it as well, but just use the time-space continuum. I really like these walls. I'm going to keep using these. I think this is good as a way to... Because I think I too often just have a ton of forest on either side, you know, and I don't think that really suits what we're trying to go for with this build. I just need to find this wall again. Sorry. Right, so... Nope, terrible. Life is pain. Okay, let's just flatten all this because it's in the way and it hurts my heart. I need slope on and high, and then we just go along here, make that nice and straight, lovely, jubbly. Look at that, beautiful things. You would take that home to meet your mum, pretty sure. Okay, so let me just put down this lagoon and see what happens. Right, so what we have to do, I guess we don't because it's a movie set, so it doesn't really matter. So what I want to do is try to get this in line, like say there. Let's see. What we need to do is try to get this so it's going to go straight along with the path. There we go. That's more like it. So we just we build out this lagoon like so. And we don't want the beach to be huge. I kind of want you to go past. I think I'm going to cut this in about a third for the beach. We'll see. We'll just kind of build this out. And the cool thing about this is that if you build into, as you can see, into like raised terrain at the edges, then these little bits disappear, and it kind of makes it feel much more... That's going to kill my trees, though. Although, I think I can just put these back on, right? Magical stuff. Okay, so now the very cool thing about this... I quite like the concrete, actually, for what it's worth. We can, again, I kind of want to close it off a little bit like it's an actual movie set. So what we can do is we can throw down a bunch of sand. Let's do that first. And the reason I specifically played on Isla Nublar, so that we had lovely, beachy, tropical vibe sort of sand. If you play on so many of the other maps, they might have a sand brush, but the sand is a little dirtier. It maybe doesn't have that lovely, shiny aesthetic we're looking for. Now what we can do, I'm actually going to save it before I do this. I'm a little paranoid. Now what we can do is begin to lower the terrain. Wait for it. This is magical, okay? Boop. Oh, yeah. We can lower the terrain. And we can start to kind of scope out the shape of our beach. So I'm kind of just want it to undulate a little bit along like that. I think that's probably enough room. I don't want the beach to be gigantic. I don't want anything to be gigantic. It's meant to be like a microcosm of a film, essentially, right? But it has to have enough space that a Megalodon could have a lovely time. Might bring it in even more, actually. Obviously, we're going to put some stuff on the beach, make it look beachy. And then what we can do is begin to sink it down properly over here. Try and fade that in to the beach. So it looks like there's a bit of a gradual drop off there. Like so, maybe a little bit higher over there. And suddenly we've got a working lagoon with a beach. Incredible, right? It's really good stuff. And as you can see, if we hop inside, we've got our lagoon. Now, it's actually probably a little bit shallow. I'm just going to lower this side a little bit more. Make sure the Megalodon's got some decent room to... I want my Megalodon to be happy at the end of the day, right? So give it some decent room on this side to swim around in. Okay, we're going to do a bit of a time lapse for the next few minutes. This was mainly decoration around the lagoon as opposed to the beach and the lagoon and stuff like that. And I figured I couldn't subject you to 4 whole minutes of music and not getting to hear me talk absolute nonsense. So here we are, me watching this very laggily happen on Adobe Premiere, and hopefully it running not laggily for you folks at home. Anywho, so just squaring out the shape of the lagoon first of all, using these fantastic big old stone blocks. I can't remember if I cut this out of the video, but what these are is part of a mod that kind of is meant to look like it's from the original Jurassic Park. You know, the Rex habitat where you've got the sort of the dam sort of hanging over one side, all the water pouring over, and they drop down in the car with the kids and with Alan. That's kind of what this is meant to be. It's a really cool way to include that in your builds. But they make for great walls, and we're kind of hemming this whole area in, straightening it up. I want it to feel like an enclosed... It's meant to feel like a movie set, but a fake movie set. You know what I mean? It's kind of real but fake at the same... That kind of faux realism that you get in Universal Studios and Disney and stuff like that. Again, I very much have that Universal Studios Minecraft ride in mind. Obviously, it's a real ride as well, but it's been a long time since I went on the real ride, and I did the Minecraft one a few months ago. So it's fresh in my memory. So, we've got the torch rack gone for there. I spent about half an hour trying to sort out why my torch rack kept appearing in non-concrete version, and finally managed to fix that. And then I figure we'll have some billboards. These are, again, meant to represent the sort of movie posters you see at the sides of these rides. And then I kind of wanted a bit of a wall between the between the track and between the exhibit. It has to feel contained. You know, if a small child were to tumble over, they would not necessarily be able to go and say hi to the shark. It's the general idea. They'd die. The water, you know, this may be a fake movie set, but the water is real, so we do have to protect the children. The children are the future. I've talked very fast, so I'm using these Indominus Rex habitat. Are these the Indom ones? I think these are the Indominus ones. From another mod, using those walls and sinking them down into the ground to make concrete barriers. You could, of course, do this, well, the equivalent of this unmodded. I think you could make an interesting version of this without mods at all. Obviously, you would have an edge to your lagoon. You can't get rid of that without mods, but you know, we've got concrete barriers in the game that you could use instead of these. This was finangly, this bit. That's the term we're going to use today, finangly, to say the least. But just sort of a little bit of edging on there. Who doesn't love a little bit of edging? And then some concrete backdrop there. Again, just kind of trying to sell the idea that it's a professional operation, which is very unlike me, and that it stretches off a little bit into the distance as well. Now, unfortunately, Scary Face's Fantastic Sign Pack has not been updated since... well, maybe it has, actually, I haven't checked. But obviously it came out before the Megalodon... Before the Megalodon did, so we don't have a Megalodon sign. But using a sign, using a few little fences, and then sort of building up the foliage in that area. Throw on one of our brand new spotlights to highlight that sign. That was added, of course, last week as part of the free update along with the DLC. And I think already you can see it's coming together. It's looking a little bit neater. It's looking like a professional tour if you ignore the wibbly wobbly concrete, which you will because you love me, okay? I love you, you love me. Together, let's go kill Dipsy, if I remember the song correctly. I just need to go all that up, nice and tidy, put some fences and some foliage in, and we are done. Okay, I've not talked in about an hour, which is egregious and unacceptable. I just figured I'd get this decoration a bit done, and then, oh god, that's messy though. Ignore that bit. I got the sort of the tour bit done, and then we could focus in on actually designing the habitat, the important and exciting bit. So let's build the beach from Jaws, basically. So shape-wise, I'm pretty happy with what we have so far. We've got these sun loungers. So these are, of course, there aren't actually, I'm looking at pictures of the beach right now. There aren't actually any sun loungers on the island, as far as I can tell. I think sun loungers hadn't been invented by that point in time. But we're going to have sun loungers anyway, so sort of... They feel... This feels... Let me just check something here. How big is the Megalodon? Okay. It's just that the sun loungers are tiny. I think that's... I think I've probably built the whole thing a little bit too big. But... You know, no, I think it's okay. It's just that the sun loungers are so small, they're making me sad. Basically. Which is not the first time I've felt that. There's a sunshade decoration that we've got access to. I wonder if we want like a turtle on the beach. Is that crazy? I think that might be cute. Little turtles. I mean, large turtles crawling up the beach. Why not? Just vibes. It's things like the mayor of the town not believing the scientist and being like, no, we can't close down the beach. It's holiday season, all that kind of stuff. It was just straight from Jaws. It was quite funny to watch. I've got some cool ideas for stuff we'll do in the water. There's definitely like a sunshade kind of thing as part of these decoration mods. Okay, so that's a canopy metal. There we go. So there's like a gazebo kind of thing. A gazebo on the beach. So that's going to be our gazebo. And maybe have, I don't know about the, it's maybe a little bit modern looking. There's all these little huts. I don't know what the huts are. I don't know if they're bathrooms or if they're, are they food things or are they bathrooms? I don't know. They're like red. They're like this. They're like red and white striped. I'm not really sure what they are, but I think, you know, having some vendors on the beach isn't a bad idea. They're a bit too buildingy, but they've got the right sort of vibe, the right sort of colour. And of course, you would have vendors, you know, set up on the beach, wouldn't you? You'd maybe have some that were a little bit more haphazard, strewn about like so. Throw this one in there as well. Yeah, it's got beachy vibes. It feels huge still. Oh, I just kicked something. What did I do? Terrifying. We can't actually, I'm not sure how this is, oh, they're sitting. You can't see them, I'm a little nervous about this. How's that? Oh, so close to, I'm going to do it anyway. We can kind of have people sitting on our sun lounges. It's not quite, they're all slightly floating, but I think one of the ways this is going to work, if it is going to work, is by having the beach really populated with people, right? We want loads of people there using the sun lounges. We want people swimming in the water. You know, it needs to feel, this isn't post beach ban. This is not, you know, when everything's shut down. This is when things are at their peak. It's summer season. So we want lots of people standing around. We've got utility. It's not quite, I mean, this is fine. This is fine. This is sort of our Coast Guard equivalent, I suppose. It's not quite the right vibe, but it's close. We have one over there, and we'll have one up there as well. I'm just going to sink this down into the ground and hopefully make it feel a little bit more appropriate for the beach. Like so. Pretty happy with that, and that should sit around the front. This is not dissimilar to what it looks like in the film. It's not similar, but it's not dissimilar. Let's grab some rocks. What kind of colour rocks are we looking at here? They're quite light. So let's go, I mean, Mediterranean would seem to make the most sense. You're huge, though. Be less huge. I know it's tough. Believe me. We've all been there. I'm just going to stagger some rocks over here on the right. And the rocks kind of, these are too big. It's way too big. They kind of like go along the water's edge. I'm not sure about this. Maybe I need to go, I think I need to go even smaller. Right, the rocks must die. Okay, whatever. So the next step is, I think, in terms of the beach, this area is going to remain relatively clear. I want activity to be over here, but I kind of want some undulation. You know, we want some, well, we want some undulation. We want the beach to feel, yeah, especially over here on this right-hand side. I want it to have a little bit more of a duney sort of effect to it like that, and then we'll lower the intensity down. We'll do that a little bit. I think it feels weird when beaches are like completely flat, especially sort of towards the back. Like the closer you get to the surf, to the water's edge, the more it can be just smooth. But I think before then, we just want a little bit. That's a little bit too much. Just a little bit of undulation in the movement of the sand. Okay, is there anything? I'm looking at the picture. Is there anything else I really need? I actually see a hot dog stand, funnily enough, in one of the images. So this has turned out to be relatively perfect. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm trying to make this area on the right a little bit more interesting, so I've got a little bit of a plan for that. We're gonna bring out this ridge line over here a little bit. I'm thinking of so the opening of Jaws. They go. There's a couple of again a classic that's now been used a gajillion times. But there's some young people and they want to have sex because they're crazy, and so they sneak off into the wilderness and they're sort of overlooking a cliff originally before they sort of go down the slope into the water, where obviously the lass gets relatively eaten. Well, completely eaten. You don't get relatively eaten, but yeah, so I'm just trying to build in something like that a little bit. If I just give this a little bit of height on the right-hand side, it'll just look a little bit more interesting. Before you get down to the nice part of the beach. So, to make that even cool beans, is there anything else I'd want, actually? Is there any other... a tent? There's no plant life on the beach at all. So, what we need a couple of, we need a couple of teens, and they've snuck away. Okay, so they're there sneaking away, doing their thing, and then they jump into the water, and they're the ones who get eaten by the shark, basically. And in general, I just want... No one's like... I need someone in a bikini. Like, one modelled in a bikini. I'm just going to slapdash some people around here and there. Right, this is what I was looking for. I need a boot. So, the deep sea fishing boat. This is, of course, going to be Brody, etc's boat that they're on in the film. So, we're going to have that sitting off in the water like so, but I also want to have like a ruined boat sitting down at the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to try to get this to the bottom of the water without it vanishing into the nether, which is harder than you would think. Are you there still? Oh, I'm a genius. Okay, cool. Right, so I think it's time for some I like this. I think it's stupid, but I like it. I really wish I could... Let me just try this again. I want this fence to... I want it to go straight forward, but fences love to snap, even when you don't want them to snap. I do like this. Let's throw in some aquatic decorations. Let's have a look. We haven't seen what we've been doing. Now we look into the water and yeah, very easily we've got ourselves a pretty cool underwater habitat to that's where you get jump scared, and now we can throw our Megalodon in there and then we're done, I think. I mean, I say then we're done, I think, as in it didn't take very long, but it took bloody ages this. It's been a long ass build. I really like that flag. I'm not sure about this balloon. I can't move it now, so the balloons thing get away. So then you come down here, and you go all the way down here. I'll throw in another one of these eventually. And you go through the here, and you'll end up in your next habitat. I'm hopefully smaller habitats going forward, because we are we'll run out of room fairly quickly. Otherwise, basically, I don't think it'll last that much longer if I don't tighten things up a little bit. They look like a married. They do look like a married couple. So never mind. And they look like they're talking. It's really weird. So never mind the whole teen couple thing. They're just a married couple looking to like rejuvenate the spark a little bit. You know, get back a little bit of that va-va-voom. That's the idea. Anyways, shark. So, I mean, I'm already tempted. If I just drop the pattern, can I drop the pattern? Oh, this is patternless. I actually think that's probably the best we're going to get, because it should look like a great white shark, right? That is kind of what we're aiming for. So that one's kind of a no-go, I'm afraid. Right, if I do this... One sec. If I do this, and then... I'll have to do... maybe... No... No... So I guess that's the only other alternative. But I think Bruce... Oddly enough, I got pictures of loads of things, but I didn't get a picture of Bruce. I think Bruce looks more like that than anything else. Oh, there we go. Yeah, yes. I think that's probably pretty appropriate. So Bruce is going to live in here. There he is. What I want, let me just grab Bruce. Bruce. Raise him up a little bit. I want him to kind of like... I'm probably going to get rid of these turtles. Can I? Come on. Okay, there it is. I'm going to put these on the rock. I'm going to say this is like a local artist display or something like that, right? Turtles on the rock. That makes sense. It's so hard to grab because it always wants to grab the lagoon underneath. I can say that. That's fine. But yeah, this is kind of the vibe I was looking for. Let me grab this guy here if we can. It's a shame he doesn't look like a surfer, but Bruce is emerging from the water to eat the poor guy. Da, 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 da. Oh, we need some people. Ah, da, 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 da. Da, da. Da, da. Help, help. Sort of, I guess. Everyone else is just sort of watching it happen. Just staring out into the water. Bruce. Where are you, Brucey? It's time for your bonus. Bruce? 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 There he is. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Wait, is he at the top? Yeah, you see the beach. Yeah, great, cool. Okay, thank you very much for joining me. Oh, let's name him Bruce. Let's name him Bruce. So, the big thing, and from you folks at home, is suggestions. Do you have any ideas of things we could do in this kind of vein? This could end up just being a one-off fun build, but I'd like to maybe do a few episodes on this. Yeah, at the very least, it's not going to be a gigantic park tour, but it'd be cool to do maybe 4 or 5 films. We can do Godzilla, we can do King Kong, we can do the Megs. That's 4 right there already. But I'm open to suggestions. We can also use things in other ways, like the Indoraptor could maybe be like a werewolf. It's kind of like Cryptid Park, where we can kind of connect dinosaurs to existing things, even if they're not directly related, you know? We could do Sand Shark, clearly. Yeah, as you can see, he can swim around the whole thing. It just means his chances of appearing in terrifying locations. Sand Shark. He just disappears back in. Lovely. Cool. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you lovely folks very soon. Throw me a like down below if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more Jurassic World Evolution 2 and general dinosaur-based goodness. I'll see you next time. Cheers much as always. Bye-bye.
Road.